Welcome back to another episode of the Fort Johnson podcast. I'm your host, and today we're talking about an incredible opportunity for soldiers, veterans, and their families, the upcoming Transition Assistance Program hiring event. Whether you're preparing to transition from a military to civilian life, exploring career options, or looking to expand your professional network, this event is designed to connect you with employers who value your military experience. We'll cover what you can expect, how to make the most of the event, and hear insights on how TAP can support your career journey. Stay with us, you won't want to miss it. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever you are watching our program, I am Jeff England from the Fort Johnson Public Affairs Office, and this is the Fort Johnson Podcast. Today, we got a very special guest with us, retired, I'm going to say retired, not former, retired Command Sergeant Major of the Garrison. Yeah, we've got Chris Osmond. How are you doing? Mr. Chris.
Doing great. Thanks for having us.
It's great to have you back in here. We've had you in here a couple times talking about TAP and Transition Assistance Program and how all of the opportunities that you have for soldiers and civilians and family members and all that stuff. But this time we're going to be talking about the hiring event. Now, why are we calling it a hiring event instead of a job fair?
So one of the things we try to stay away from is a job fair is a lot of times you'll have employers that will show up and they really don't have an opportunity for a job at that moment, but they want to highlight their company or business, rightfully so. But we call it a hiring event because the employers that we're inviting to this, they all have jobs that they're ready to hire soldiers. So we're trying to increase that capability on installation for our customer.
Well, let's get that out of the way. When and where is it going to be?
Okay, we're excited about that. The Fort Johnson 2025 Spring Hiring Event is going to be on 15 April. It's at the Warrior Fitness Gym. If you don't know where that's at, it's 8184 Alabama Ave. And one of the great things about this is we're going to have 40 employers there. Uh-huh. So we've done a lot of work in the last 6 months of trying to get our name out there, make communication with these businesses and organizations to get them here for this event. We're extremely excited about it. It's going to give soldiers an opportunity for basically a bunch of different fields. I mean, you got medical, you got law enforcement, we have construction, engineers, home inspections, banks, and we have some of our installation partners that have hiring opportunities on post.
Now, those home inspections, is that for like when you purchase a house, they have to inspect the house, or is it when you build a house you have to go through all the inspections?
It's when you purchase a house.
Okay.
So they take you through the certification and everything else. We got a business that we work with. They'll be at our hiring event. They actually come to our employer days. So.
That could be pretty handy around here. Yeah. Yeah. And so we've got, and this is going to be, you said at the education center?
No, it's going to be at the Warrior Fitness Gym.
Oh, the Warrior Fitness Gym.
Correct.
And that's is that the one where we have all the homecomings?
It is.
Yeah, see, I know that one.
Oh, yeah.
As a matter of fact, we have a bunch of people coming home, and this might be a great opportunity for them to join in and see what they got going on out there.
Oh, yeah.
But honestly, I say stay in until you retire like the Sergeant Major here. Yeah. It's a lot better than having to try to find a civilian job. And
yeah,
I like working here, but I should have stayed in.
Well, I would tell you that's one of the things we push with the command, though, is Transition Assistance Program. Yes, we take care of soldiers as a transition out, but it's an effective re-enlistment tool as well.
Yeah.
Because when you come down, each soldier comes down and sits with a counselor and everything else, the reality starts to kick in. You know, if I don't have some of the same comforts that I'm going to have while I'm in the military. So some soldiers come see us, they get all the training, everything else, and then they re-enlist, and that's great because we want to keep good soldiers in the military. But if they transition out, we want to throw every resource that we have to help build their plan, and that's kind of key because it's their plan. We're not trying to curtail and force them in any direction. Essentially, soldier walks in and says, "Hey, this is my plan," and then we align every resource to support their plan to make them successful.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of help on the soldiers, whatever choice they make. They've gotten a lot of help from all kinds of organizations and offices here on post. The big ones that I've seen are the graduations. The school graduations, the tech schools, and like welding and truck driving and all that stuff. And these people have jobs waiting for them when they get out, and I think that's just fantabulous because I didn't have any of that, and I had grass is greener syndrome back at my last enlistment for active duty, and I got out and spent 3 years trying to get back in. And they wouldn't take me. It's like, I guess we're
actually doing well in installation with some of that. That's the career skills program, and it's broken out career skills program that's approved. Businesses essentially with a memorandum of agreement between the Army and that organization. And then you have your skill bridge, which is DOD, covers all the branches, and your individual internship. So we have a ton of capability. I mean, we have a soldier right now that's working for MWR that's going through the internship process. And
they've got that intern for the guards too.
Yeah.
So I've talked to one of the soldiers that is interning with the guards, the physical security. Yeah, and it's like, he loves it. He loves it.
It's a great opportunity for soldiers. You know, that's our thing. We just want to. Right, we got to help.
Yeah,
you know? And I think we spoke about this before in previous podcasts, but you have a bunch of retirees working in transition assistance. Our heart's in it. We want to take care of the soldiers. You know, not to say anyone else doesn't, but we've walked in those boots. We understand. We can speak the soldier speak and everything else, which helps.
Yeah, the whole soldier speak is. I try to tell people there's a difference between what you know as a soldier and what civilians know never being a soldier. Like, and the big one that I bring up is NBC. Yeah. NBC to a civilian is a television station. Yeah. NBC to a military is slightly different. Yeah. So we've got the job, or the hiring event. Now I'm going to have to assume that one of these people that are institutions that's going to be there has got to be law enforcement, because law enforcement loves former military because they like to run their office like a military style.
We have quite a few law enforcement. So we have. We got police officers from across the state of Louisiana. We have them coming from Texas, everything else. So we reach out. We actually got businesses coming from Oklahoma, which is awesome. You know, they're reaching out. The word's getting out. So they'll be there, absolutely. One of the things that we really want to highlight with with the command and what we're pushing is please send your soldiers. Like, there's a ton of work that's went in to put this event on. We purposely had to pick a different location. That's why we're not doing it in an education center, is because we have so many businesses coming.
Oh, nice.
So it's at like I said, it's at the Warrior Fitness Gym. And our goal is I want to see tons of soldiers there and everything else. They're going to have an opportunity. We have a site set up inside the gym where they can do on-site interviews.
Now, April 15th is coming up pretty quick. Do they have to if somebody wants to go, if a soldier wants to go to this event, do they have to do any prep or anything like the job fairs? They make sure you have your resume on hand, or at least job, whatever.
Well, there's no requirement. Just you can show up and attend. But we've been pushing this through the transition assistance office with the soldiers that come in, because we want them to have their resume ready, be ready to essentially conduct an interview and accept a job. But what we're doing also is we have classes that are going to be conducted on the 14th, and some of that is like dress for success, right? If you're going into a interview or salary negotiations, that's a lot of things that soldiers aren't familiar with, because when you think dress for success, a soldier just puts on camouflage or my dress uniform, and it's really two options, or PTs.
Yep.
So it makes it simple, but it's different in the civilian sector. And then salary negotiations, it's cut and dry in the military. You know exactly what you're going to get paid.
Exactly.
So
I was trying to explain that to my stepson. It's like, you don't get extra pay if you're like a special forces or anything. No, an E5 is an E5 is an E5. It's like, no.
Yeah.
They say, yeah, dress for success. They also say, dress for the job you want.
Yeah.
So I did, and I got in trouble for dressing like Batman, and they told me to go home and change. Dress for the job you have now.
Right. Yeah, I'll tell you, one of the things that TAP across the enterprise pushes is prepare and connect, and what we've been doing the last 6 months is preparing for this event and making the coordination and talking to the soldiers and the commands and everything else. And then the connect piece, that's why we need the soldiers there. So the connect piece is soldiers and their families. If you're a spouse of a soldier or a veteran that works in the area or on post, you're looking for something else, or you just want to come on down. We're more than welcome. We're also going to have food trucks there. There's going to be food trucks out there for the event because I learned a long time ago food brings people to an event.
Brings me to it. So, do you know what food trucks are going to be out there?
I don't know yet.
Oh,
I know we'll have two.
Okay. I got my eye on several of them.
We got to keep the suspense. I may know, but I may not be sharing.
What about the companies? Can you name off some of the companies that are going to be there? Or
Absolutely. I mean, we're going to have Ochsner Health, Lake Charles Police Department, Bossier Sheriff's Office, DES, Troops in the Transportation, Lafayette Police Department, Betcho is a contractor doing a bunch of construction. U.S. Army Corps of Engineers are going to be there. CGI, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Louisiana, House Call. House Call is the home inspection business that I spoke about earlier, and the Navy Federal Credit Union and Manpower that works in Leesville, Texas Department of Criminal Justice.
Oh, nice.
Yes. So I mean, like I said, we have a ton. We've had so many businesses reach out. We've had to cap it because we've hit a point where we don't have enough space. But it's good because this is the most we've done in a while.
Yeah, that sounds like it's getting popular.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I'm enjoying this because back when I got out, I was looking for a job, and I guess they didn't, or I guess they just didn't like me. but yeah, I would tell them, but I've got military experience and all this stuff. Nope, don't need you. But that was a different time. It was 20 some years ago.
So what we do for transition assistance here at Fort Johnson is we multiple tiers though, right? So we have employers' days that happen. Those happen twice a month, from January all the way through October, and we bring in 4 businesses to the education center. And their opportunity, they're also hiring. So we consider that steady state operations. That's businesses that are always ready to hire soldiers, depending on what month you want. Soldiers have that capability. And then what we did is the reason we're having this in April. We look at our biggest population of soldiers that are getting ready to transition, and then that's how we picked the month that this was going to happen. So we can increase the capability. And another thing we got, the highlight is obviously our Fort Johnson Spring Hire event, which will take place on 15 April. But we also understand once this is complete, we're going to shift focus because being in the military automatically correlates to law enforcement. There's a really close connection there, obviously. But on 19th September at the Education Center, we're going to have between 12 and 15 law enforcement agencies, and we have only a couple of slots left, and that'll be filled.
Oh, wow.
So, and that's all law enforcement, the correctional facilities. We just talked with the Border Patrol.
Nice.
So, once again, trying to increase capability for our soldiers because we want them to be successful. Because they're a soldier that transitions out of the military and you take care of them, that's your best recruiter that you're going to have singing the Army's tune to come into this profession. And so it helps on both spectrums.
Yeah, and it's really nice to be – it makes you feel good to be considered a veteran.
Yeah,
it does. You're out there and doing your job, and strangers come up to you and say, "Thank you for your service," and you never know what to say back. And it's like, "Well, thank you for your support." It was my honor. So you said you're going to have a police event in September. How many states are there going to be? Because I know there's going to be a bunch of different departments. And is Angola going to be there, or is that just the?
No. Well, we got. like we said, I think we have 13 that are already currently signed up, and that's covering 3 different states. Three
states.
So we're covering Louisiana, Oklahoma, and Texas. So
the good thing about being a police officer is you can transfer to anywhere.
Oh yeah.
Well, except the one counties that only have like a sheriff and a deputy.
Right.
Yeah, like Roscoe and Enos. Yeah. That's a reference to the Dukes of Hazzard for all you younger people. So you've got. So do we have flyers and posters up around Post to get that? And I'm sure you have a QR code that will. Where does the QR code take you?
So the QR code that we have on our flyers that's one of the things that was very successful for us getting the businesses that we had. So that was specifically designed for the businesses on that wanted to attend hiring opportunities. So they were able to. They had 2 options. They could fill out a form and send it back to us, or you could just scan it and fill it out, and it would automatically send us an update. So we try to make it easy on the business.
That does make it easy,
and that'll be something we do forward. Continue moving forward because it really created some connections for the installation and the businesses or organizations that are out there looking to hire our soldiers.
Nice. And so you've been doing this for a little bit. You've been doing it for about a minute or so. And what would you say is the career field that you're seeing a lot of people, the most people either show interest in or going into?
I'd say it's a wide gamut, though. I say obviously law enforcement's always going to be a huge hit. We've had internships in the local police academy or the local police offices around here, but we kind of see it across the whole spectrum. Because we have a soldier that's getting ready to do an internship in California, San Diego. It's tied in with the construction. They're going to take them through the entire process. So if I had to pick one, it would be law enforcement, but it's a pretty wide gamut. Like there's tons of soldiers that want to do stuff that's completely different. We have soldiers that are going doing internships down at BAMC in San Antonio. You know
what I think would be a really cool job, or if you could get somebody in here, is like even if it's just an internship, like hedge funds. The investment kind of guy that just you're out there making the graphs, and it's like, okay, we're going to go with this one and this one. We're going to beat the hedges. But then again, I like to be rich.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's money. I like it. I use it. I want more of it. That's where you come in.
I think one of the things that helps, though, is because I would tell you, every one of these businesses that we've been talking to, they want to hire veterans. They want to hire soldiers.
That's good to hear.
Because we spoke with them. We spoke with tons of these business organizations. A veteran going into a civilian business, or whatever the case is, there's a different mindset, a form of discipline that they're trained in the military, because that's how the military operates, is discipline to get the mission done. And that level of just discipline will help any business out there, and they see that. So they're absolutely excited. And there's some that they missed the cut line, so they're signed up for the
next one.
Yeah, the first one on our next one.
So if this is the spring event, the spring hiring event, do you have one like for each season, or is it like just spring and fall, or as many as you can get that's feasible?
Well, we do the main one in the year. That's the one we're holding in April. That's our spring hiring event. One of the key things I would tell you that it's indoors. We've done these.
Well, that's good.
We've done it outdoors before, and it's not very beneficial to the customer or the business out there. With the Louisiana tends to get a little warm.
Just a little.
That was one of the selling points. At first, some of these businesses asked, they said, "Hey, is it indoors?" I said, "Absolutely." They're like, "We're coming."
I could see this at when we used to have Freedom Fest. They could have had some tents up or some booths up, just saying, "Hey, look at us."
Yeah,
that would have been cool.
Oh yeah, but we do state-to-state operations with the employer days. So there's 10 months out of the year, there's always a business on this installation that wants to hire soldiers, and then we have 2 rather big events this year. We have the spring hire event, which will be April, and then we have the law enforcement event, which will be in September. But we're seeing progress. We're seeing businesses give job offers, soldiers doing interviews, and we're also seeing follow-ups with a lot of soldiers.
Nice. And now there's no pre-order or pre-sale tickets kind of thing. You just show up, and that's at, I would say, 10 o'clock.
Yeah, so the event starts at 10 a.m. and it'll go till 1 p.m. 1300. And the vendors, like I said, they'll be all set up by then. And we will have the site set up the day prior, and then the vendors will start coming in early that morning to set up. The only requirement for the soldiers, the families, vendors, is just come to Warrior Fitness Gym, speak with businesses that want to hire soldiers, our customers. Give them possible opportunities, and then there'll be food trucks in the parking lot that if someone wants to.
Yeah, those food trucks are I'm digging the food trucks. As a matter of fact, I just went to one the other day. It had and got a quesadilla. It's so good.
Yeah,
it was so good. So all of the other what other offer or what other services if somebody misses this event. They can still come see you, right?
Absolutely. So we tell soldiers all the time, the one thing that any soldier that has transition assistance, because it works in windows, right? So if you're 18 months before separation, it's a normal ETS, that's when you can officially be registered in a tab. If it's 24 months if you're retired. But we don't turn anyone away. The months don't matter. If you have a transition assistance question, whether it be any of our capabilities, come see us. We're going to talk to you, everything else. We're going to give you the resources that you need. If you're inside that window, we're going to get you enrolled, and we're going to get you tied in with a counselor to help develop your plan and make your plan the strongest plan that it can be for that soldier. So we will not turn away a soldier.
Now, if let's say somebody was within 18 months and they came in and talked to you and got enrolled in the transition assistance program, how late or how close to their ETS can they be? That's the estimated time of separation. Can they be before they say, you know what, it's just not looking that great for me on the outside, I want to re-enlist?
At any point. So that's one of the things I'm talking to the commands across the installation is a soldier can be enrolled in TAP all the way, it doesn't matter, the entire time they're enrolled in TAP. The minute they say, hey, I want to re-enlist, hey, we will high-five them. Hey, that's awesome, because we want to keep good soldiers in the military. And they just go back, they re-enlist, and we will just disenroll them from TAP because there's no requirement there, because they can't be registered because they're not inside their window. And we encourage that, because I'm a whole retired soldier myself, but I understand how that game works, right? Because you come up to your re-enlistment window, then you start talking to the re-up NCO, and you're like, hey, I want to get a bonus, I want to get an assignment of choice, what can I get? So it's your little bartering game where you think you're in charge, but you're not really.
Yeah.
We understand that. I understand that. But all we're asking is please enroll the soldiers, get them enrolled in TAP. Because we may be able to assist with that. We want the soldiers to stay in the military, but if they do get out, we want to give them every resource we can for them to be successful. Yeah,
no more the jobless, homeless kind of thing. Right. We want to make sure that everyone's out there being taken care of and getting the right stuff and being successful.
Yeah, I mean, we have a great laboot.gov. We work with them quite often with TAP. Phenomenal group of people. All they want to do is, if you want to stay in Louisiana, they want to find you a job because they want to keep talent in the state.
There's a lot of things that I can see here in Louisiana that I just don't think are being taken advantage of very well. I mean, like down in Baton Rouge, there's a huge studio down there, Celtic Studios, and I just don't see enough of that being used. It's like, do you know how many people it takes to make a movie? Or that can employ a lot of people, and it's a really nice place too. Yeah, it's right there next to Costco.
Oh yeah,
which is another nice place. So, overall, give me the rundown. Overall, that way I can make a short out of this. Okay. Give me the rundown and everything overall. That if you had the elevator pitch. Yeah, I keep hearing the elevator pitch. Give me the elevator pitch on our hiring event.
Okay. The key thing I'll tell you is JRTC and Fort Johnson Transition Assistance Programs holding the spring hiring event on 15 April at the Warrior Fitness Gym. That's located at 8184 Alabama Ave. The event will kick off at 10 a.m. It'll end at 1 p.m. or 1300. We have 40 businesses that are going to be there. They're just as excited as we are. They want to hire our soldiers as they transition. We want to give them that capability. There's no requirements for any of the soldiers or their families. All you got to do is show up. And we look forward to seeing you there. And the last thing I would say with the command across the installation is please send your soldiers there. A lot of work went into this, and we'd like to afford to see soldiers there.
So now, if we've got a soldier that wants to go, but he's busy or the commander won't let him, or they're doing some kind of motor pool, or he's got floors to sweep. What would you say is the best way to try to coerce leadership into letting them go if they're kind of on the fence, or if they're not?
Well, I don't think you can coerce the leadership because they have their priorities.
How about not coerce, but convince?
Yeah. I think convincing the leadership is easy because they care about their soldiers just as much as we do. It's given, but they have mission requirements that they got to maintain. I think what helps the command want to support events like this is knowing that there's a team that's put a lot of time and preparation. I mean, we've drawn con-ops, wrote op orders, everything else. We've operationalized this event because we want it to be successful for our soldiers.
And that's why they've got you in there, former command sergeant major or retired command sergeant major, making it happen. Because I remember when you were the garrison sergeant major, and you made things happen, and it looks like you're still doing it. Well, Chris, I appreciate you coming in, and I hope the best for the hiring event. And be sure to get out there and dress for success, and be sure to make it over to the Warrior Gym. No,
Warrior Fitness Gym.
The Warrior Fitness Gym on April 15th at 10 a.m. It's only 3 hours. So get over there early. Get over there and talk to everybody. Chris Osmond, Command Sergeant Major, retired from the TAP, the transition. I always want to say SFL TAP, but it's TAP.
Two separate, yeah.
Two separate things. I appreciate you coming in, and I'm going to have to call it a day for this one right now. But anyway, I'm Jeff England from the Fort Johnson Public Affairs Office. This has been the Fort Johnson Podcast. Please leave us a comment, a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. If you'd like to see us cover a subject or see somebody on our program that might interest you, give us a comment, give us an email if you could figure out my email. But anyways, hey, it's been great. It's been real. We'll be watching and listening at you later.
That was easy.